We're going to talk about why it's important to align your goals with your actions, or vice versa, align your actions with your goals. So what do I mean by aligning your goals with your actions? I'm going to give you an example. Imagine if I was like, I'm going to run a marathon. I promise you I'm never doing this again.
Ever.
But all I did was run sprints. Or even more so, imagine if I was like, I'm going to run a marathon, but all I did was Olympic weightlift. I was like, I'm going to run a marathon. And then all I did was CrossFit. And then for the 6 weeks before, I was like, oh, let me get into the running. And then, spoiler alert, I did the marathon, and I did really shitty. Not only that, I almost got injured. I actually figured out this cheat code recently to align your goals with the actions you're already doing. So that way, you can almost kind of trick your body into thinking that you're accomplishing shit, but really you're not doing much and you're not changing much. For instance, studies have actually found that it's easier to adapt a new habit than it is to change your old habits. That's why you find smokers, like cigarette smokers, still doing mild things, like maybe smoking weed or picking their teeth or like playing with their tongue or shit. And that's because they changed the mild fixation that they had from smoking some deadly ass chemicals to really cleaning their guns or chewing gum. It's easier to pick up a habit than it is to change a habit. I recently come to this conclusion after giving myself rhabdo from doing Murph. I took a break from doing CrossFit and doing heavy conditioning like that, and I was like, I'm gonna get really strong. So I was following this back squat program, but I kept consistently hopping off of it and doing these like long ass conditioning pieces. Which inevitably ended up getting me hurt, right? So its benefits. Number one is that it's going to help keep you reliable and ensure that you keep track of what your actual goal is, right? Focusing on stepping stone goals, the little goals that's going to get you to where you're at, it's going to keep you focused and build confidence. Completing objectives. For instance, if I was trying to squat 500 pounds, I wouldn't just put 500 pounds on the bar, hope for the best. I would start with like 315, aim that. I'm gonna hit 315 by this date. And then 405, I'm gonna hit 405 by this date. Then 500, I'm gonna hit 500 by this date. So that way when you're obtaining those objective goals, or those smaller goals, you'll be able to build your confidence. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I can hit 405. The other thing is that it can help reduce stress. You ever been on a trip and you're like, I thought I knew where I was going, but holy shit, where am I? I'm lost. You ever feel like that when you're trying to achieve your goals? So aligning your actions with your goals can help create a road map. You're never going to achieve anything unless your actions align with your goals. This goes for everything. Money, car, sex, clothes, relationships, fitness, health, nutrition, everything. You're going to be more respected among your peers. Think of all your friends, the guys who are like, I'm going to complete this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But they're never doing shit. You can't trust their word. Now imagine that friend who's like, you know what? By age 29, I'm going to get out of my mom's basement. And he does it. You're like, oh, that guy's doing something with his life, sort of. So I'm not saying that this is going to be easy, but it's definitely worth it at the end of the day. For a long time, personally, I was just kind of saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But my actions weren't aligned with my goals. You know, that was the old Derek. By old, I mean the younger Derek. But I can't stress enough that at the end of the day, when you actually achieve that goal, even if it's that stepping stone goal, that shit feels so good. One way to help keep you on track, accountable, reliable, get a loved one, somebody you trust to help keep you accountable. Be like, hey, If I pick up this, like let's say your goal is to lose fat, lose weight. Tell your loved one, if you see me pick up that Oreo, I want you to tase me. You have to have boundaries. You pick up an Oreo, you get tased. You don't pick the Oreo up anymore. That's going to set you in the right direction.